stacking surfer. I think I'm your best friend. Balances in your bank instead.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sean Rich and I own Tortuga Trading. So what I do is I specialize in being a custodian of history. So what I've brought here today is an exhibit all about 17th century piracy, shipwrecks, antique arms and armor. Enjoy.
So what I'd love to do is have you take us through a couple of these cases and maybe just point out some of your favorite pieces.
Okay, well this is gonna be speed round
That would be
because
great.
there's so much information about this stuff. So like this miniature portrait, we're doing the research right now. That could be Vlad the Impaler, otherwise known as Dracula.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, and again, 16th century helmet, 18th century English box lock flintlock pistol. Thomas Jefferson had a pair very similar to this. More flintlock pistols. This is a piece of royalty, being this is 16th century jewelry made for someone of extreme wealth. And it's rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and it's gilded silver. It's just amazing.
That's awesome.
Here we have, again, another piece I'm researching. This could have belonged to the Emperor Joseph I of Rome. This is a scepter, and the difference between a coronation scepter and a normal everyday scepter is that this is kind of plain compared to one that's all gold and silver and jewel encrusted for coronations. So
Is this ivory?
this is actually carved bone, and it's all in
Carved bone.
segments.
Wow.
And it's dated 1708.
That's pretty intense.
Really cool. But, oh, there's so much more to see. Come over this way. Okay, so here's a pair of pistols. These are double barrel over and under. These were actually featured in the show that I had on National Geographic Channel called Lords of War. And we did the ballistics testing and the firing at the range. It's just amazing pair of pistols. And then over here, this is your traditional dueling set. So if you had a dispute back in the day when it was legal to have duels, they'd show up and each party would have a pistol, and whoever won the day won the argument.
Wow, I'm glad we don't do that anymore. I've had too many arguments,
No kidding.
but I'd win them all, I think.
Yes. Okay, and now over here, we're getting into more of the shipwreck material.
Okay.
So, here's a helmet called a morion. Now, history books will depict the Spanish conquistadors landing on the New America's shores wearing helmets just like this. Well, it's assumed that those helmets are Spanish. Well, armor was utilitarian, like the weapons. So those conquistadors, even though they're from Spain, they were wearing armor from Italy, Germany, other countries. And again, it wasn't to say it was bad or good or indifferent. It was utilitarian. It served a purpose. So that is a helmet that could have arrived with the conquistadors. Then this pistol is a 17th century wheel lock that dates to about 1640. And then, of course, what do you keep the treasure, the pieces of 8 and gold doubloons in? Well, here is a real treasure chest. And it's a small one, and you can notice that within the lid, it's an intricate locking mechanism.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So if you were a wealthy merchant, you would want to keep your gold and silver in something like that. And remnants of boxes like this were found in Port Royal, Jamaica. That was one of the pirate strongholds. Now, here below, this is a bronze cannon from the 16th century, early 17th century, and it's a breech loader. And this is bronze and recovered from a shipwreck. There's a cutlass sword that is just amazing. Down below, you've got remnants of what they call olive jars. This is a signature of what you would find on a 17th century wreck, especially of Spanish origin. Then you have rapiers, or remnants thereof.
Now these look like they've been sitting in the ocean for a bit.
Yep, and they've been professionally conserved. And then up above, now you have some of the pieces of 8, just as they were recovered from the ocean. They haven't been cleaned, except for the clump in the center. Just the tops of the coins have been cleaned. And that clump was recovered from the 1715 fleet that wrecked on the east coast of Florida.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So are these on a flint over here?
So
Or on a
that
flint gun?
is a flintlock pistol. that unfortunately, when it was recovered from the ocean, they didn't conserve it correctly. And it was like air is the enemy. Because once the oxygen gets within, it peels like an onion. And so it took 6 months for me, thank God we took really good photos of it, but it took 6 months for me to reconstruct it as it sat on the ocean floor. But it's an amazing artifact.
All right, so Sean, was there a theme here when you put this display together here?
Oh, absolutely. So when I was a kid growing up, if you haven't seen the movie Goonies, okay, there's a famous scene there where they finally find One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship in this cavern. And they finally get to where the treasure is, and here's One-Eyed Willie sitting at the table with all this treasure in front of him. I wanted to recreate that, and this is kind of my version of it. And are the skeletons real? No, but a lot of the artifacts are. So it's got a great visual aspect to it.
I think we had some cool armor over here to take a look at.
Yeah, let's go take a look. So this is a really, really spectacular breastplate. So full suits of armor, or half suits, or segmented sections of armor were used in different situations. This is highly decorated. It's etched, engraved, gilded, and a lot of the gold gilding still remains. So this would be a high-ranking, like, palace guard, maybe Munich town guard for Germany. So this dates to about 1580 to about 1600. And it's still in this kind of condition. It really should be in a museum.
Well, maybe one day it will be.
It most likely will be.
So the question I have for you is, what were they protecting?
So obviously you want to protect your body, number one. So the breastplate was great for deflecting, you know, if somebody was shooting at you with a musket or a crossbow, that's going to save you. Now, there were devices made to penetrate armor, so you always had to be aware of that as well. But at least this gave you a fighting chance. And so here we have some more shipwreck artifacts, and I love stuff that is left as it is found. So here you have early onion bottles from the 17th century, still encrusted with barnacles and shells, just like they were taken off the bottom of the ocean. And it just adds something to it. It just proves the authenticity that it was there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So down here we have some other artifacts. Now, don't get too excited. Those coins, the gold bar, they're not real. The emeralds are not real. Obviously, I wouldn't put real ones out there for just everybody to pick up and go, oh, I got a souvenir from Sean Rich.
Like the ones on the table, right?
Right, exactly.
I think those are great. Yeah, this adds a lot to it. What about this last case over here?
So over here, this is more of the Middle Eastern section of arms and armor. So you have things from India, you have things from China, you have a Japanese katana sword that is just amazing because if you look real close, that is actually a spiny lobster as the tip of the scabbard. Yeah. And you wouldn't really know if you didn't
that I have
look
never
real close.
seen.
So it's kind of cool of the nautical theme.
That is really cool.